Today we're going to make Grandma's oatmeal bread. And good morning, Grandma.
Good morning.
And she's going to tell us what the ingredients are.
We're going to start off with 4 cups oatmeal. Okay. The old-fashioned kind, not the instant.
Okay.
The old-fashioned oatmeal. You're going to add 1 cup of molasses that you've sprayed the measuring cup first with Pam, so it'll come out easier. And then you're going to add a half a spoonful of Crisco and a half a spoonful of salt. And I'll tell you what size is a large spoonful. It amounts to about 2 tablespoonfuls of each. Then after you get that done, you add 2 quarts of boiling water and let it cool down to 110 degrees, which is about wrist temperature. After that, we add the 5 pounds of flour and let it rise twice. Takes about 2 hours. And after that, we put it in the pans and bake it for 45 minutes to an hour at 375 degrees. After that, we just let it cool a little bit and then we eat.
Okay, we're going to measure our 4 cups of oats. Reminder, the old-fashioned, not the instant.
Good healthy.
All right. So here's our 4 cups of oats. I dump it right here in the pan. And we're going to start this because we're going to lunch today, so we're only mixing the dry ingredients.
1 cup of molasses. Be sure you spray your...
Put the molasses in now?
Yeah. Be sure that you spray that with Pam, otherwise you'll never get the molasses out. And you're shy about a half a cup.
Okay, so now we're going to measure 1 cup.
Healthy cup.
One healthy. Everything needs to be healthy. Nothing
generous.
Scrawny here. Okay.
Got a cup.
So we have 1 cup of molasses in the Pam coated thing, and we're going to pour it on top of our oats. And look at that, it slides right out. Nifty little trick there. So we're going to scoop out about this much. See that?
Now put the salt in the other half a spoon.
Oh, good idea. And then we'll fill that puppy up.
Yep.
All right. Our salt. Dump it in.
Yep.
Okay.
And just let it set in hot water comes.
All right. Now we're going to let that sit while we go off to our lunch. And when we get back, we will do the other part. Bye. I am boiling water, 8 cups of hot water, which is about to boil. And then I am going to pour it into my mixture that I prepared of Crisco, salt, oats, and molasses. So the 8 cups of water has been added to the mixture and boiling water, and I stirred it, and now we let it cool off for about an hour, and then you reserve the remaining water that we're going to use when it cools down just a bit with the yeast. That will be next.
Half a cup to a half a cup, it doesn't matter. But you have to be very careful to have the water not over 110 degrees. And then add a teaspoon of sugar and 3 teaspoons of yeast and let it bloom. It'll come right to the top and usually go right over the top. If it doesn't, don't use it. Start again.
Get new yeast. And you use that thermometer to measure the temperature of the water?
Or else you just put your finger in and put it on your wrist. You can tell wrist temperature.
Like a baby.
If it's too hot, it'll kill the yeast. Too cold, it'll kill the yeast.
Temperamental yeast, okay.
Yes. But you'll see it start to bubble up. If it doesn't bubble up, you know the yeast is not any good.
All right.
You start over. Or the water's too hot or
Still
something.
got this puppy cooling down over here.
I just stirred it a minute ago.
All right.
Let's see how hot that is. That's pretty hot. It was steaming when I just... Yeah,
and what temperature do you want that to get to?
It has to be the same, 110 maximum. See, it's
still, I see, still.
very, very
Still
hot.
too hot. Okay. All right, then we'll sit around and lounge like ladies of leisure while we wait for it.
This has to, see, it's starting to foam up now, getting fuzzy. A little cap on it.
Fuzzy? Not fuzzy, fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Fuzzy. Greasing with Crisco the mechanism right here. You grease it really well. We measured the temperature of this and it's at 110. And as you can see, our yeast is continuing to rise. This is our bag of flour. It's all-purpose flour, and we are going to use the entire bag. So I'm going to open it, get a big spoon, and begin scooping it into this mixture, I believe.
You still going to stir it with your spoon?
Okay, so now we're going to take the yeast that looks like so, and it's risen. I'll pour it in to the mixture.
The whole thing?
The whole darn thing.
You might want to take your
Like
spatula
so.
and get all the goodies out.
Okay. So I have poured my yeast in, and I'm going to stir a bit. So then I put this on the top.
You can tighten it with this.
And then you push this little lever, which tightens it. That sounds like an important step. Okay.
Now you can start adding a little bit of flour and mixing it.
All right. Scoop. Scoop. This entire bag is ultimately going to end up in here.
Start mixing it now.
Okay, I'm going to do this last scoop here. Not last, but next scoop. And then start a cranking.
Want me to crank
Now
it?
I have been cranking, and every so often you take the spatula and get the flour off the edges there. Like so. Move it off the sides, and then commence cranking. Doing this in the sink is working out really well. And then, okay, so I have just added the entire bag of flour, and I continue to crank. Mary has joined us. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Okay, so I'm going to keep cranking, and we're going to keep chit-chatting. Yeah, okay. That's
Okay, I'm going to hold this for you
It's
so
getting
you can see how stiff it is. Getting squeaky.
I think it's not that stiff yet, I don't think. I do have warm water. Let me start running this. If it gets too stiff, you can add a little bit of warm water, but I'm not a wimp, you know.
Yeah, Judy's not a wimp. I'm
No.
good. Judy, you a wimp? Look up here.
I'm not a wimp.
Okay. So
There we
it's
go.
hard.
It's getting there. Do you want to look at it and see if it should have water?
The official, we're getting the official.
The official reading
The official reading. What do we think, Shirley? Is it ready?
No,
It's not ready.
not quite ready.
But no water.
No water. It's in good shape. Now is the fun to get down all from the sides.
Okay.
Scrape your sides real good.
We're scraping.
Scraping the sides to make sure there's all that in there. Really hard now, Judy?
It's hard. It's real pasty looking. Okay, I think I got it. Now what?
Now just take the paddle out and rinse it right off. Scrape it real good so you'll have about a pound of a whole loaf of bread on me.
Now you see
So
the
we-
consistency of it.
Lift out.
Now is when you'll be thankful that you put plenty of Crisco in it.
This will be going on Judy's Irish cooking bread show.
Yes, exactly.
After
My
she gets-
culinary resume.
That's right.
Of course, you have to find the bread machine, which is from like 1904.
That's my grandmother's.
Is it really?
She used it in 1904.
You know, I used to
My mother
have.
used it. No, I've used it. I pass it on.
Now that the consistency is nice and thick and kind of goopy, Judy's putting wax paper on top.
Now,
Put the lid on.
put the lid on.
Wrap it in towel and keep it as long as possible.
So first, you put the wax paper down, then you put the old lid on top, and then you're going to wrap it in towels to make it heat up and rise.
Okay, so here we are.
And down on the bottom too. Get a lap towel and stuff in there.
We're going to tuck him in like he's going to bed.
Okay, now we're going to also put
Night, night.
a bath towel all around it on the bottom to make it heat up, right? To get hot.
Just to keep it warm, I guess. Yeah, there we go. How's that? Okay, this has been rising in the sink, all bundled up in its towels. And we're going to take a look at it and see that it has risen.
Definitely ready to punch down.
Okay, and now we are ready to punch it down. So I have greased a knife a little bit, and I'm going to just poke at it. Poke.
For the air, not too far, no, just for the air out of it.
Okay, so we're punching the air out of it.
We'll have to do it again one more time.
Okay. There we are.
Well, that's where I was the second time. I always grease my pans and turn on the oven to get it preheated.
The oven is preheated to 375. And after about another hour after punching it down, as you can see, it has risen once again. The pans are here and they are all aptly greased. The wax paper we can remove, I presume. We goop up our hands with Crisco.
Your hand in your eyes.
Whee. Punch your hand in and down it goes. I'm not sure if you're catching that, but you just punch your hand in the middle and it falls in on itself.
See all the air bubbles, you can feel them. Squash them. So, punch them. Punch them.
There you go. 5 of them. And we will pop them in the oven. Okay, so we put them in the oven for 50 minutes just so we can do a check on the temperature. And then we will clean up, which we don't need to take. We'll be back. These have been in for an hour on 375. And when you take them out and turn them over, they should thump on the bottom, which they did. There we go. And this is the loaf. And this is the thump.
Yeah.
Hear the thump? Butter those tops. Make it super yummy. You can't go wrong. Butter on anything. It's just heavenly. Do this. Okay. Look at those beauties.